Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, welcome to Leisure Gaming. I am Leisure. To keep it with the Halloween spirits, I bring to you a deck that starts out oh so cute and lovable, and quickly turns into creatures that have been fed after midnight. I'm talking about the Fluffal Frightfurs. And I really hope someone got that reference, because that movie is as old as I am. And now I'm sad about that. So, let's get into the deck profile. To start off the deck, we're starting with 2 Fluffal Wings. If this card is in your graveyard and you control a toy vendor, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 Fluffal monster in your graveyard, banish it, and if you do, draw 1 card. Then you can send 1 toy vendor you control to the graveyard and draw another. 1 Fluffal Owl. When this card is normal or special summon from the hand, you can add 1 Polymerization from your deck to your hand. You can pay 500 life points, fusion summon 1 Fright for a fusion monster from your extra deck, using monsters from your hand or field as fusion materials. 1 Fluffal Sheep. If you control a Fluffal monster except Fluffal Sheep, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can return 1 other Fluffal monster you control to the hand and special summon 1 Edge Imp monster from your hand or graveyard. 1 Edge Imp Sabers. If this card is in your graveyard, you can place 1 card from your hand on the top of the deck, special summon this card in defense position. Running 2 Fluffal Bear, and you can definitely run this at 3. You can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, set 1 toy vendor directly from your deck to your spell and trap zone. You can tribute this card, then target 1 Polymerization in your graveyard, add it to your hand. Running 2 Ash Blossom. 2 Edge Imp Scythe. During your opponent's main phase, you can reveal this card in your hand, fusion summon 1 Fright for a fusion monster from your extra deck, using monsters from your hand or field as fusion materials, including this card in your hand. If Fright for a fusion monsters you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish this card from the graveyard instead. Running 2 Fluffal Dogs, and this is also another card that can be run at 3. When this card is normal or special summon from your hand, you can add 1 Edge Imp Saber or 1 Fluffal monster from your deck to your hand, except Fluffal Dog. Next are 3 Edge Imp Chain. When this card declares an attack, you can add 1 Edge Imp Chain from your deck to your hand. If this card is sent from the hand or field to the graveyard, you can add 1 Fright for card from your deck to your hand. Normally, your target for this is going to be Fright for Patchwork. Next we have 3 Fluffal Penguin. During your main phase, you can special summon 1 Fluffal monster from your hand except Fluffal Penguin. This effect can only be used once while this card is face up on the field. If this card is sent to the graveyard as a fusion material for a fusion summon for a Fright Fur, you can draw 2 cards and then discard 1. 1 Fluffal Dolphin. You can target 1 toy vendor in your graveyard, set it, and if you do, send 1 Fluffal monster or 1 Edge Imp Sabers from your deck to your graveyard. If this card is sent to the graveyard as fusion material for a fusion summon, you can shuffle into the deck 1 of your fusion spells or polymerization spells that is banished or in your graveyard. 1 Artifact Scythe for Scythe Lock. You can set this card from your hand to your spell and trap zone as a spell. During your opponent's turn, if this set card in the spell and trap zone is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon it. If this card is special summoned during your opponent's turn, your opponent cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn. Going on to spells, we have 1 Raigeki to clear your opponent's monster field, 1 Harpy's Feather Duster to clear your opponent's backfield, 2 Polymerizations for your fusion summoning. This can also be placed at 3, 1 Monster Reborn to bring back monsters from the graveyard, 1 Fright for a fusion summon 1 Fright for a fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing fusion materials listed on it from your field or graveyard. We have 2 Foolish Burial Goods. Send 1 spell or trap from your deck to the graveyard, and your primary target is going to be your toy vendor. We have 3 Fright for Patchworks. Add 1 Edge Imp monster and 1 Polymerization from your deck to your hand. 1 Fright for Repair. Target 1 Fright for a fusion monster in your graveyard, return it to the extra deck, then you can special summon 1 Fluffal or Edge Imp monster from your graveyard. You can then banish this card from your graveyard to then special summon 1 Fluffal or Edge Imp monster from your hand. Running 3 toy vendors. Once per turn, you can discard 1 card, draw 1 card, and show it. If it is a Fluffal monster, you can special summon 1 monster from your hand. If it is not a Fluffal, you have to discard the card that you just drew. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 Edge Imp Saber or Fluffal monster from your deck to your hand. 1 Call by the Grave, and 1 Forbidden Droplet. On to the traps, we're running 2 Infinite Impermanents. On to the extra deck, we're starting off with 1 Fright for a Sheep. If this card battles, your opponent's cards and effects cannot be activated until the end of the damage step. If this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, Or if this card in your possession is destroyed by an opponent's card effect and sent to your graveyard, you can special summon this card, and if you do, it gains 800 attack. 1 Frightful Wolf must be fusion summoned with the above fusion materials and cannot be special summoned by other ways. This card can attack a number of times each battle phase up to the number of fusion materials used for its fusion summoning. 1 Frightful Tiger. When this card is fusion summoned, you can target cards on the field up to the number of fusion materials used for its fusion summon and destroy them. All Frightful monsters you control gain 300 attack for each Fluffal and Frightful monster you control. 1 Frightful Sabertooth. When this card is fusion summoned, you can target 1 Frightful monster in your graveyard, special summon it. All Frightful monsters you control gain 400 attack. If this card was fusion summoned using 3 or more fusion materials, it cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. 1 Frightful Kraken. Once per turn, you can target 1 monster your opponent controls, send it to the graveyard. This card cannot attack directly the turn this effect is activated. This card can make a second attack during each battle phase. Once per turn, at the end of the battle phase, if this card battled, you can change this card to defense position. 2 Frightful Cruel Will. If this card is fusion summoned, you can destroy 1 card on both players' field. Once per turn, you can target 1 fusion monster you control, send 1 Frightful card from the deck or extra deck to the graveyard except Frightful Cruel Will, and if you do, the targeted monster gains attack equal to half of its original attack until the end of the turn. We have 1 Totally Awesome as our walking negate, 1 Bahamut Shark, who then summons Totally Awesome from the extra deck. We have 1 9 Lives Cat. Your opponent cannot target other monsters you control that were special summoned from the graveyard with card effects. You can attach 1 material from this card, then target 1 level 9 monster in your graveyard or 1 monster in your opponent's graveyard and special summon it. We have 1 Zeus for the field clear, 1 Cross Sheep to get the effect from fusion summoning, special summon 1 level 4 or lower monster from your graveyard, 1 Artifact Dagda, which will then help you get your artifact Scythe to your spell and trap zone, 1 Predaplanet Verte Anaconda to help with your fusion summoning of your Frightfurs, and 1 Appaloosa Bow of the Goddess as your monster negate. So that's it for the deck profile. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe as we're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Also leave a comment below on your thoughts about Fluffals. I would love to hear from you. I'll see you in the next one. Later.